Hello guys, and welcome to day 4 of Happy Holidays. We are almost wrapping up our series. We have one day left tomorrow. Today I'm going to be showing you how to seal vinyl with resin, and I'm so excited because this is bringing in all of my favorite things to do with crafting. So we have resin, we have vinyl, we have Cricut, we have glitter, all of the good stuff. I'm just going to log in Facebook really quick and make sure that I can see myself and see your comments and have these brought up. Yay, it is live. Hello. Oh, and there's an echo. Hey, Brandy, so good to see you. I'm, like I said, really excited about this project. Also, can I show you something really fun that I found out this morning just for fun? How ridiculous is that? Could you guys hear the air horn? Oh my gosh, it's so much. I'm going to do it one more time. Oh, and if you really like what I'm doing, I can give myself a round of applause. Okay, I'm just going to continue on. I'm having too much fun. All right. So I hope, like I said, I hope that you have enjoyed this series. Hey Dad, there's my dad, if everyone can say hello. If you have enjoyed this series as much as I have, go to hollymostella.com and you can get a recap on every day. On the YouTube channel is where you're going to enter to win the Joy Bundle giveaway that I'm doing at the end of the week on Sunday. And then also don't forget to enter Hope for the Holidays, where Counterculture is giving away a no limit giveaway, which means they are paying bills, they are buying groceries, they are sending flowers, they're doing all kinds of amazing things for people. And that's who I'm going to be using today, is this Counterculture, are these Counterculture products. So the molds, the resin, the squeeze bottles, all of that, and the glitter today, all of that comes from Counterculture. I have the link in the description of the video. I'll also have it on the YouTube channel and in the email recap if you're signed up for the newsletters. You want to be signed up for those newsletters because I always announce mystery boxes from those. So, tell me where you're watching from today. You are streaming from Alabama. We are on day 4 of 5 of our Happy Holidays, and let's get started. Okay. I said this before, I'm just going to say it again. I love this project so much because we are working with resin, glitter, Cricut, the vinyl, all kinds of the amazing stuff that is so fun to work with. I'm going to be giving you the cut file that we used today. Let me bring you over and show you what it is going to look like. Let me bring this down. There's a couple windows that I have to move around and I always get confused. So here is the resin that I'm going to be using and the squeeze bottles. North Carolina, Utah, Kansas. So happy to see you guys. There's different resins that you can use. There is an artist resin. And if you're going to only be doing molds, then I really love this medium viscosity. It works so good, but this fast set epoxy is the game changer. It cures in 2 hours. It's not recommended for molds, like it's not the best for molds, but I love it. And especially that it cures in 2 hours. I mean, you can't beat that. Any other resin other than fast set is going to cure in about 8 hours. Epoxy really loves a warm environment. So if you're out doing this in your garage, you may want to think about, be conscious of the climate. It likes a dry, warm space. So let me bring you over to our Cricut design space. This is the image that I hand lettered that I'm going to be giving you guys today. This is one of my favorites. If you watched me last year, we did this image with one of the wooden signs from Not Just Frames. But this year I want to put it on a coaster. It's so cute and so festive. I love it, even if I did draw it. And I have a link in the description where you can get all of these. I have over 1,000 of these, and I add to these daily in my Patreon. But this is one of my favorite Christmas ones. So this is what I'm going to be cutting today. These molds that you find on the Counterculture website, all I did was I typed in round mold. Here they are. And I'm going to talk to you about the sizing for your vinyl. I'm going to be using the circle. It is about 4 inches wide, so I want to make my design about 3. And if you're ever not sure, you can always just measure. Just use a tape measure to measure the size of the design that you want to use. Yeah, I got a little tongue-tied there. So let's get back to the video. Hi. And let's get this started. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys down and we're going to start doing all the fun stuff. So here is the finished product that we're going to be making. And you can see when the light hits this really, let me get a good, when the light hits this, there we go. You can see that it is completely covered. There is no vinyl sticking up at all. And so you are not going to ruin your vinyl with any condensation from your drinks. It's completely sealed in. This is also a really good project to do with water slides, with family photos. You don't have to just do a vinyl design. It's a lot of fun to put photos up under there and cover them with resin. These are really good gifts to give, and these molds are reusable and reusable and reusable. You can always tell a good quality mold if it's shiny. See how it has a shiny surface? That means that your glitter is going to be shiny. So that's what we're going to be doing and working with. Let me put this way so you can see it. Okay, a little bit epoxy education. Is anybody here watching that has not played with epoxy before? You might have wanted to or been afraid of it, but I am here to help you through it and to answer any questions that you have. There's a lot of misconceptions about epoxy. There's a lot of fear or just, I don't know, general misinformation about epoxy. So I think it's important that we kind of cover those, talk about those if you have any questions, because I want you to feel like this is something that you can do. Today I'm going to be working with the medium viscosity, so it will take about 8 hours to dry, but last night I used the fast set with this because I wanted to make sure it was perfect this morning, and it was. I rarely have any problems with epoxy, but you have to keep in mind I've been working with epoxy for over 3 years now. I still make mistakes, and just like with crafting, you learn as you go. Let me take a sip of this wonderful coffee that is saving me this morning. All right, we're going to go ahead and get going. The biggest part of what intimidated me was how to mix the epoxy. I was so worried about how to do it, if I was going to do it wrong, what would happen. And just like with everyday crafting, it's not the end of the world if you mess up. I'm going to put gloves on. Always make sure that you use gloves when you're handling epoxy. Some people prefer to use a mask when they use epoxy. I don't, but I work in a well-ventilated area. It's just that you don't want those fumes. Just like anything else with chemicals, it is a chemical. So you know that when you use bleach or something like that, you want a well-ventilated area, and the same goes for this chemical. we are going to work with, like I said, this medium viscosity. These squeeze bottles come already labeled from Counterculture. They're really inexpensive and they're amazing. They come unfilled, and you can see like it has a really big opening, so it's easy to squeeze this epoxy out. Part A is thicker than part B, but let's go ahead and get started. I have these cups, and I love these so much because they have these little lines, and I use these as measuring lines. So I'm going to mix my part A. I always pour my part A first. I found that if I have a bit of a process, then I'm less likely to mix it up, because I have before mixed part A, poured part A, went and did something, came back, forgot which one that I poured, and then poured the same part A again. And you're not going to get epoxy that way. It's just a bunch of part A. So it's going to be just a bunch of that same epoxy. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Don't let this sound intimidating. It is so easy. All I did was I poured the same amount of part A as I poured part B. And now we're going to mix these together. And that's the hardest part. I mean, that's it. So, pouring part B into part A. I do this because it's thinner, and I feel like I'm more likely to get all of it. Because if you don't have it mixed properly, that's the problem you're going to come across. It won't cure. It'll be tacky. If you ever do an epoxy project and you come back after it's supposed to be cured and it's tacky, it's either you didn't mix it well enough, you didn't get the 1-to-1 ratio right. But you see me, like, I'm not using a scale. I'm not going over the top. I just eyeballed it. It's equal in the cups. Then I mix it together. Not a big deal at all. We're going to mix this until it's clear. It doesn't take really long. Scrape the sides like cake batter. Make sure that you're getting every bit of that epoxy mixed in well together. Thank you. You guys have been so sweet. Can I just tell you that I've really been worried about doing these lives because, I don't know, my mental capacity is probably just like yours. I'm just shot, you know? I'm so tired. This year has been so hard, but I was so afraid that I would make too many mistakes or that I would feel discouraged if I did. But just jumping in, and like I said, the group was 3 years old on Monday, which huge shout out to my admins. They have been absolutely amazing. But through your encouragement and your support and your kind words, I've had so much fun, and it really just sparked that inspiration again about why I love doing these lives and teaching people and educating and helping people get their projects done. Our epoxy is mixed, so now we're going to add our glitter. How beautiful is this blue? A lot of you guys, I asked you which you liked better, the blue or the purple on Monday. You liked both of them, so I decided to go with one of those colors again, just in the family. So this is Crystal Ocean from Counterculture. It's a fine glitter. And I'm going to mix that right in. You're seeing me not measure much. And that's because, number one, you know how when somebody's been cooking a really long time, they can't really give you a recipe because they're like, I just know. But number two, you can't get this wrong. Just pour in your glitter, and if it's too transparent, then you're just going to want to pour in some more. But this looks pretty opaque, and that's what we want. I just want it to be opaque, enough glitter to cover. You can't see any. It's not transparent, but not too much to where it's chunky. and not able to work with it. So it's the best idea to, if you've never done this before, just add some, mix it together. If it's still a little transparent, then add some more. Isn't that pretty? All right. Now, here's the biggest tip with this. Only fill it about halfway. The biggest takeaway from this project is that you only want to cover the bottom of your mold. And that's because we need room to fill it with the clear glitter. And I'll show you how to do that with the clear epoxy. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. Epoxy is self-leveling, so it's going to be working its way towards the sides. And I'm just going to take a heat gun and start to pop some of those bubbles because I don't want any bubbles in this. Plus, it's going to warm it up and make it move around a little bit more and fill the bottom and still give us some room to put the vinyl down and then a final layer to seal it. Does that make sense? Yes, I think this is such a pretty color too. Okay, just pop in those bubbles. And that is done. So, at this point, we're just going to let this sit, literally, just leave it alone, let it sit, let it dry, let it cure for, I use medium, so we're going to use that, we're going to let it sit for 8 hours. If I use fast set, it would be 2 hours. So I'm going to push this to the side, and she's just going to hang out while she dries for 8 hours. We're done with her for now. But here we are 8 hours later, okay? Maybe I should just remove this so we don't get confused. Let me move this to the side. All right. Here we are 8 hours later. Our epoxy has cured. It is dry. Maybe it's the next day. Maybe you got busy and it's a few days later. Maybe you forgot about it. But now we're ready to put our decal on. I've already cut our decal. And the mold is 4 inches wide. And so I cut the decal at 3 inches. This is, if you missed the beginning, this is one of my hand lettering. And you are going to be able to have this design. I'm going to put it in the Happy Holidays recap and on the website. So just go to hollymystella.com and get your free cut files. Okay, let me get some transfer tape. We're going to weed this. I'm going to start rocking and rolling. I still have to get my Christmas shopping done. I have not bought a single thing. And the way that the Postal Service is moving, I am a little nervous that I cut it too close this year. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe we'll be okay. Ugh. Okay. Hello, everybody that's just joining us. Welcome. And thanks for coming to hang out. Okay, I'm cutting my transfer tape. And then I'm going to put it over my design. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Jessica. I love giving you guys these tips and going live with you this week. It has been so much fun. I'm sad that we only have 1 day left. Tomorrow we'll be playing with the Cricut Joy and making cards. Okay, so we've got this transferring. And remember, our resin is already cured at this point. So fast set, 2 hours. Any other resin, 8 hours. We have our design. I'm just going to put it in the middle here and use a hand to burnish that down. And remember, I only filled this halfway. So it's a thin coaster right now. Taking off that transfer tape. And now we're ready to fill to the top with epoxy. Okay. How do you dispose of leftover resin? You pour it in another mold. That is the best thing for leftover resin. Even if you're working on another project, I have so many molds just laying around because that is the best way to use it, not waste it, and dispose of it. So I'm mixing part A. Just need a little bit. I'm pouring part B, equal parts. I'm just eyeballing it at the edge of the table so it is equal. If you like resin and you like cups, please join our sister group. It's also my group, Craft Life Tumblers and Resin Art. That's all things epoxy. So if you're interested in getting an epoxy or you have questions about epoxy, that is the best place to ask them. But I still wanted to show you guys how to use this since it is just a part of my life. It's a big part of my crafting career, and also how to seal this vinyl and other projects on these molds. Where can I, so the design, Christy, I hand drew this and I'm going to give this to you, but you can get over 1,000 of my other hand lettered SVGs at patreon.com/HOLLImystella. How long will the unused resin last sitting out? With fast set, it's only going to last about 20 to 30 minutes. With the other resin, about 45 minutes. Yeah. No, resin and epoxy, that's the same thing. Interchangeable. We're just mixing until it's clear. Anything that is made of silicone, like any of those molds that are silicone, you can pour this epoxy into so you're not wasting. Okay. So I'm going to put my glove back on. It's just one sister group. It is Cricut Craft Life Tumblers. We'll get you there. Okay, so it's just clear. We don't have anything in here, just the clear epoxy. This is measured and poured only halfway in the mold. And now I'm going to pour the clear epoxy over the mold. Thank you so much, Nadine. Your kind words, all of your kind words, they mean the absolute world to me. It's been a really hard year, just like for all of us. And so any kindness, especially right now, is absolutely appreciated. I'm so thankful. And I've been watching your comments on the YouTube channel because that's where we're going to make sure that you're commenting on all of the YouTube channel videos. That's part of the giveaway. And seeing those comments and how kind you guys are has made all of this worth it 100 times over. Yep, it's just, this is just, you can use permanent or removable vinyl. It does not matter which kind of vinyl you use. And it doesn't have to be vinyl. Like I said earlier, in case you missed it, you can do a water slide and print out images of your photos. You can do all kinds of stuff, anything. You're not limited to just vinyl. It's totally fine. This torch came from Walmart. Counterculture has a torch, but it's great for cups and bigger projects. I prefer this smaller torch. Like I said, it came from Walmart. I prefer the smaller torch, but also you can get just a kitchen torch from Amazon or anything like that. This resin does not have a strong odor to me, but you have to keep in mind, like, everybody's different. So just a couple times we're going to pop those bubbles, and those come from just mixing the epoxy and it's settling. So this is finished, you guys. All you have to do now is you have to wait on it to dry, and it's done, which is so exciting. So put your family photos in here, print off a water slide, put it in here. You're not limited at all. I like to use dried flowers in these, gold flakes. You can use mica powders, all kinds of amazing things. But for this, for Cricut Craft Life, I did want to use the vinyl to show you how amazing this project is, and also so that I can give you a free cut file. So then after your project is finished, you're going to start to demold. And let me tell you, this is the, other than popping bubbles, this is the most satisfying part of this project. Just peel away the sides, pop it out, and your coaster is resin sealed and finished. Just warm water to wash. Don't put it in the microwave, or yeah, definitely don't put it in the microwave. Don't put it in the dishwasher. It's going to get too hot. Just wipe it down with a warm cloth, soap and water, and you're finished, you guys. These make great gifts, and the molds, like I said, are so reusable. Use them and use them and use them again, and you can make all kinds of beautiful things with this. Your art skill is not limited. Your creative mind is not limited whatsoever. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Tomorrow is our very last live and our very last day in the series of Happy Holidays. Day 5, we will be playing with the Cricut Joy. So be sure to sign up for the emails, go to the YouTube channel, drop a comment to enter to win one of 2 Cricut Joy bundles. Also, yes, they would make good ornaments. That's a great idea. They would make beautiful ornaments. Also, be sure to check out the Hope for the Holidays video on YouTube. Counterculture, that's whose resin, mold, glitter I'm using. They are having a no limit giveaway. They are paying bills, they are sending food, they are sending flowers, they are doing all kinds of amazing things. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you Friday, tomorrow, on our very last day of Happy Holidays. I'll see you then. Bye.